Welcome to part 8 of our IVF journey. So far in our IVF journey, we have gone to so many consultations with nurses, with doctors, so many blood tests, internal scans, HSG. I've done an egg collection. I've had one fresh embryo transfer, which didn't work. And now we are getting ready for our frozen embryo transfer. In this episode, we have a bit of a torturous wait until the start of the frozen embryo transfer. I go through the medication I'm on, and we get to actually see the embryo being transferred into my uterus in a scan. We actually see the flash of light when the embryo is taken out of the catheter into the uterus, which is just so incredible. So stay tuned for that. Whether you are going through IVF yourself or supporting someone who is, I hope this episode gives you a little bit of insight into what this stage of IVF is really like. Share in the comments if you are going through IVF. It is so great to have a bit of an IVF community, and I love seeing all of your comments. So grab a cup of tea and let's dive into the next part of IVF. It is the first weekend in June 2025. We are slowly starting to prepare for the frozen embryo transfer. I ordered my medication from the pharmacy this weekend, so I'm going to pick that up next weekend. Nothing needs to be refrigerated this time. It did need to be ordered a week in advance. I talked to the fertility clinic on the phone this week. I need to let them know day 1 of my cycle when it begins. From then I will be starting some medication. Folic acid, vitamin D, vitamin B, and a few other bits. So I'll be picking that up next weekend. They reckon my cycle is going to start on the 18th. My app thinks that it's going to start on the 20th. So whenever it starts, I am due to probably go in for a scan on the 1st of July. Make sure that my lining is preparing well and everything's looking good, ready for the transfer. The rough plan at the minute is then after that scan, on the 7th of July, I will be going in for a progesterone blood test, just to make sure that my progesterone levels are at a good rate. And then the day after, on the 8th of July, hopefully we will be doing the fresh embryo transfer that day. All going to plan. I am starting to think about when I need to book off work, but I think I'm going to wait until next weekend to put a plan in place for that. Just a little bit closer. This weekend, I also went through another consent form, 16 pages this time, so half the size of the consent form that we filled out before. And I suppose it's over a month now to go, so I'm just going to start preparing my body, making the healthier choices, limiting caffeine a bit. Just, it's hard because, it is a long wait. But you want to be doing something, so might as well try eating more vegetables, doing what I can. I have been worrying that none of the embryos are going to be viable and that they'll all have some sort of genetic abnormalities and none of these transfers are going to work, and I'm just going to go through the next several months doing failed transfers. And it's so easy to just spiral into like a negative way of thinking. So you just have to stop yourself somehow. If anyone knows how, please let me know. I've also started to think about, like, what do we do? What's our plan B if none of this works? And it's hard because you don't want to be having these thoughts, but you have to be realistic too. And, like, I suppose one option is a sperm donor. And after thinking about it, I really want to have my husband's kids. So do we just try another IVF round if this doesn't work? I don't know. So yeah, I suppose I have to just focus on what I can do today and try to not think about it too much. Easier said than done. It is the 6th of June, it's a Saturday, and we are on our way to the pharmacy to pick up the medication for the next cycle. So, progress, yeah, we're starting to make a little bit of progress.
Yeah!
So I have now received my bag full of medication ahead of the Frozen Embryo Transfer. So let's have a look and do a bit of a haul. Just like last time, there is way more than I had expected. There's a lot. There are some bits that I recognize and some that I haven't seen before. So like last time, we have the vitamin B's. We have Estrofem, so I might be taking those pretty soon, fingers crossed. Loads of syringes, sorry. We have the Crinone progesterone gel again, we've taken those before. Vitamin D, same as last time. And needles, we have loads of needles. We have Prolatex, same as last time. They stung just a little bit. Alcohol wipes, I still have some from last time, so that's fine. I actually got loads of these Estrofem. There's 28 pills in each one, and I have 5 boxes. Is that right? Did they make a mistake? I don't know. I think that's something that would really help, like knowing what your medication is before you get them and get really overwhelmed. We have different colored needles for other injections. I don't know what they are, so let's have a look at that in a minute just to see what it is. So I have a few of those boxes. I have the boxes of Crinone gel as well. Sorry, I don't want to show my full details. So a few of those boxes, a few of the Prolatex, and then a few of these Clexane, maybe. And then also some folic acid. These are 5 mgs. The ones you get over the counter are 4 mgs. So they're what my doctor prescribed to me. Yes, so let's have a look at this Clexane. So here it is, the Clexane. So that looks pretty intimidating. I don't know what these are or when I'll be taking them. But yeah, just another cycle of IVF, I suppose. We are in the second last week of June now. And the last week has been particularly hard. Just a big sense of just waiting, your life standing still, not being able to make summer holiday plans because you don't know what the future holds. Yeah, so it's been a rough week.
It's a Sunday and I am going to a walk-in GP to do a blood test. My fertility clinic wanted me to get a thyroid stimulating hormone blood test done ahead of the frozen embryo transfer. So we are going to try to get that ticked off this weekend.
The TSH bloods are now done. Went into the walk-in GP. It's a Sunday, so it's nice to get it done. I'm actually doing full blood works because they said it was the same price. So €40 for the bloods to be done, and I'll have the results in 5 to 7 working days. It is now June 22nd, and it is finally time for me to start taking estrogen or estrafem. Estrada. So yeah, starting to prepare for the frozen embryo transfer. We finally have our date for the frozen embryo transfer, the 14th of July. I'm going to book it off work. Just nice to relax a little bit on the day. So on the 4th of July, I have a scan to make sure that everything is looking well ahead of the frozen embryo transfer. And then on the 14th, at around 11 a.m, I have a progesterone blood test. So assuming all is well with that, at 1:20 we will be doing the frozen embryo transfer. So yeah, fingers crossed all works out well and goes to plan. The plan for the next 2 weeks is to just continue taking my vitamin B, vitamin D, folic acid, and the estrafem. So a normal dose, if you were taking these for the pill, would just be 1 a day, but I am taking 4 a day. So yeah, look, everything in terms of my body has worked out well in the past, so we have to keep positive thoughts. I do hear of some people getting to the frozen embryo day, transfer day, and the embryo just not defrosting properly. So I'm a little bit worried about that because, you know, there has to be something to worry about. So yeah, I just have to take it a day at a time and hope for the best. So today I am going for my first scan ahead of the frozen embryo transfer. So it's the 4th of July. We're gonna see what the lining of the uterus looks like, and if it's looking good and like I'm getting ready for a potential transfer. If we need to change any of the medication I'm on, if we need to up the dosage of anything or add anything on. So yeah, so excited to finally start. I've basically just been waiting around for the last month, waiting for this really, and to start going to the scans and stuff like that. If this scan doesn't look great, I might need to go back for another scan in a few days' time. Today is Friday the 4th of July. We reckon the transfer date is going to be the 14th of July, so in 10 days' time. So yeah, just fingers crossed and hoping all looks well. I'll let you know afterwards. All finished up now with the scan. It all went well. We wanted the lining of the womb to be thicker than 7 millimeters, and mine is 9.5, so that's very promising. The nurse also checked my ovaries, all looked well. And yeah, we're good to go ahead with the transfer on the 14th. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, and today we start the Crinone progesterone gel. So far, I've been taking estrafem, 4 tablets a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. What that's been doing is it's building up the lining of the womb. The Crinone gel will give me the hormones to enter the luteal phase of my cycle, which basically starts to prepare the womb for implantation. Tonight I will be taking one of the tubes of Crinone, and from tomorrow, Thursday, I will be taking 2 a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, spaced about 12 hours apart. The combination of estrofem and Crinone mimic the hormones that your body would naturally produce after ovulation. Possible side effects of taking the Crinone include bloating, breast tenderness, fatigue, possible cramping or mild twinges, constipation. It's rare, but you can experience nausea. Emotionally, you might feel more sensitive, weepy, or just flat. These medications are timed precisely to line up with the transfer day. So, yeah, we're preparing. We're almost there now. It is the day before the transfer. I'm feeling quite low today. I feel quite negative about it. I feel like it's not going to work. I'm very worried that we'll have to wait for another month because this one's not going to work, and I just can't shake this low negative feeling. I don't know if it's a side effect of the medication I'm on, maybe. I know a lot of people would feel very excited the day before the transfer. For whatever reason, I'm like convinced that it won't work. I don't want to feel this way, but I just feel like, yeah, we'll do the transfer tomorrow. We'll wait for the 2 weeks. We'll get the negative pregnancy tests. We'll have to go again. I have no reason to be feeling like this. Everything's gone perfectly so far. And we're all good to go ahead, and we're set up for a good healthy transfer with all chances going our way. But I don't know, like I just feel like I want to cry. It's been tough. Today I have been focusing on taking it quite easy, not doing anything I don't want to do. I've had a shower this morning, getting ready for the transfer. I had a portion of blueberries. I'm gonna have a pineapple soon. My dinner was an omelette full of eggs and tomatoes, and I haven't applied any scented body lotion. I'm not going to be wearing any perfume, nothing in my hair, just no scented products, because we don't want that to be the reason the transfer doesn't work. So yeah, look, I'm feeling quite low. I would like to be feeling all happy and positive, but yeah, we'll just take it one day at a time. It's transfer day! So today we will be doing the Frozen Embryo Transfer. I have a progesterone blood test booked in for 11:10 today, so to check my progesterone levels and to see whether I need to be taking Prolactin shots again for extra progesterone. And then at 1:20 we will be doing the frozen embryo transfer. And I need to arrive at the clinic half an hour beforehand, so 1:50. I just got a call from my clinic letting me know that they are going to be defrosting the embryo shortly. It takes 2 to 3 hours. They said that there is a 2 to 3% chance that the thawing process doesn't work out. In that case, they will proceed to thaw another embryo. So we will still be going ahead today, hopefully. All fingers crossed. We have 4 embryos that are frozen. The clinic said that they transfer day 5 embryos first. We have 2 day 5 embryos and 2 day 6 embryos. Our day 6 embryos are a better grade. Our day 5 embryos are a 3 BB, both of them. Our day 6 embryos, one is a 5 BB and one is a 4 BB. So yeah, of course I would have liked to have done the better grade embryo, but look, we'll go with the clinic's advice on this and see what happens. I'm very aware that your embryo grade doesn't necessarily change the outcome. I've seen plenty of low grade embryos turn into beautiful babies. This morning I've taken my crinone gel as normal, along with estradiol, 4 tablets, vitamin D, vitamin B, and 5 mgs of folic acid. This evening I will be starting a new type of injection called Clexane. So yeah, fun. How did I prepare this morning for the transfer? This morning I had a bowl of pineapple. I asked ChatGPT about how to prepare, and they actually mentioned that I should have pineapple for the next 5 days after the transfer for a bit of breakfast. So yeah, we're gonna have to go to the shop afterwards and get some more pineapple, along with the McDonald's fries, of course. I also had a body shower with just a bit of soap, because you don't want any scented products on you, really. But cleanliness is also very important, since they don't use any antiseptic stuff, as it could harm the embryos. So no hair products, no deodorant, no body lotion, no scented products. Also your clothes, don't wash them with fabric softener if you're washing them before your transfer day, because you don't want that strong scent, that strong chemical scent on you at all. Makeup wise, only use unscented products, no perfume. So yeah, I didn't realise that. So the outfit I had picked out, I had washed them a few days ago, and now I'm not going to wear them because I washed them with fabric softener. I didn't know. What else? I have the day booked off work. It's a bit awkward because I haven't told work that we are doing IVF. I don't really want them to know. We don't know what the outcomes are going to be. So one of the girls asked, "Oh, are you doing anything fun on Monday on your day off?" And I was like, no. I hadn't thought of something to say instead. But yeah, I just said no and changed the subject. Yeah. How am I feeling overall? Very mixed emotions. Yes, I am excited. Of course, I want this to work. But there is just that little thought at the back of my head saying, nope, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to spend another month waiting for the next transfer, more waiting, and the waiting is just so hard. It's mentally draining. So look, we're going to try to be as optimistic as possible. Of course, we're saying prayers and shining a light on that little embryo and hoping for the very best. So yeah, fingers crossed. I will be wearing pink socks and pink undies because we are hoping for a girl. I'm hoping for a girl. My husband is hoping for a boy. Just parked up and ready to go in for the blood test, the progesterone blood test. We are finished with the blood test.
They stuck 4 needles into me. The first 3 weren't getting a lot of blood, so we went for the hand in the end. So next up is the transfer. So how are you feeling?
Confident.
The transfer was very easy, very smooth, very straightforward. From our point of view, it was a very good transfer. We'll wait for Sean to confirm.
Once the transfer was complete, we headed to McDonald's for the famous McDonald's fries. And here is our little embryo, a grade 5BB. Our embryo transfer couldn't have gone any better. The doctor was very happy with where the embryo was placed in my uterus. The lining was nice and thick and had that triple layer that we always look out for. When in the theatre room, the embryologist came out and said that we will be transferring a 5BB embryo. Now, I had been told on the phone that morning that it's the 3BB 5-day embryo that we will be transferring, so I was a little bit confused, but turns out by the time the embryo was actually frozen, it had already grown into a 5BB. So that's really promising. A 5BB means that it's ready to hatch. A big thank you to my husband who managed to capture the transfer on camera. It's so amazing to see the moment when the embryo is transferred into the uterus with that white flash. So now we just have to keep our fingers and toes crossed as we enter the 2-week wait. So the evening of the transfer, I started the Clexane injections as well as the Prolactex injections. So for anyone who's finding it difficult to keep track, I'm taking 4 estradiol tablets, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. In the morning also I'm taking the Crinone gel once in the morning, once in the evening. Folic acid, vitamin B, vitamin D, we're continuing those. And then my progesterone blood levels came back a little bit low, so I will be taking the Prolactex injections, so once in the morning, once in the evening, and with that evening injection I will also be taking the Clexane injections. So hopefully that clears it up a little bit. Now we enter the 2-week wait. The clinic told me to wait until the 27th of July to take a pregnancy test, and then I have a beta blood test with them on the 29th of July. We'll see if we're going to be waiting that long to be taking a pregnancy test. I just don't understand how a clinic can tell you to wait for 2 weeks to take a pregnancy test. I think it would be much more realistic for them to explain, look, you're unlikely to see a positive pregnancy test until maybe somewhere along here, but a negative test does not necessarily mean a negative pregnancy test until maybe the 27th. I don't know. Just be more transparent about it, because I know a lot of people test before the 2-week wait is done. So stay tuned for part 9, which will be all about the 2-week wait, and see how that goes. Like and subscribe to keep following our IVF journey, and let us know in the comments, where are you at in your IVF journey? Have you even started yet? Are you just thinking about it? What's going on? Let's connect. And everyone, please send baby dust our way, light a candle, say a prayer, do whatever might work. Really hoping that this one works.